We are Space Marines, born of blood and fire. The last hope of humanity. An eternal war. We will stand firm and stare into the darkness for one last chance to save this world. For the darkness stares back. And soon, it could consume us all.
How do I say this? I had not played Warhammer 40K Space Marine until now. I am a fan of the universe though. I mean, how can I not be? Space, demons, large men in armor, chainsaw swords, the Catholic Church? With Space Marine 2 getting so much attention, I too saw a large man with a chainsaw cutting Xenos into tiny pieces and chunks and thought, oh, that does look like fun. Upon starting the game and making it through a mission or two, I felt like I was doing Titus a disservice by not knowing him, as well as many stinky nerds who spend hours meticulously painting his cockpiece do. Also, I think we all can admit that Warhammer 40K doesn't have the best history of video games. I mean, they have over 110 games using the IP. It seems like Game Workshop just gives the rights to anybody. So, I purchased this 13-year-old game from Steam. I got the 10-year anniversary edition at least, which is on sale for $14.99 at the time of recording. Or you can use the link below to grab a code for it from G2A, which helps support the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm the Archie Angel. If you're returning, thank you for your continued support. I told you I'd be back. I will be playing Warhammer 40K Space Marine as a casual player, and bringing up things that pique my interest, like mechanics, music, the story, or the lack of anything above. And of course, spoiler warnings for Warhammer 40K, Space Marine, and Space Marine 2. With all of that out of the way,
I scum! No prisoners! For the Emperor!
Space Marine is a third-person, over-the-shoulder shooter hack and slasher, developed by Relic Entertainment and published by THQ. The game takes place in the Warhammer 40K universe. What is that, you ask? It's a miniature war game. Kinda like Risk and D&D had a baby in a dystopian space future, where the Catholic Church worships technology. And there's also some like StarCraft in there. If that doesn't explain it to someone who's never played it or seen it, I don't know what will. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. I've never played it, so, no. But it has spread to video games, books, and comics. Trying to find any information on development for this game has been hard, with so many articles for Space Marine 2 flooding the internet. The internet does agree that Relic was able to hire staff who worked on games like Gears of War, God of War, and Far Cry. Relic was a Canadian game developer founded back in 1997. They only really released 3 games, one in 1999, 2 in 2003, before being bought by THQ in 2004. And that was Homeworld and Homeworld 2, a real-time strategy game, and something called Impossible Creatures. I don't know, man. The 90s and the early 2000s were a weird time for video games. Homeworld, though, was a very well received, scoring 90s across the board by all reviewers. Impossible Creatures? Not so much. In 2004, THQ bought Relic for over $10 million. All in cash.
I am aware of the effect I have on women.
That same year, they would release Warhammer 40K Dawn of War, another real-time strategy game. In 2006, they would release their first console game, The Outfit, on the Xbox 360. Reading this for the first time, I thought that name looked really familiar, and it is, because I played the hell out of the demo for the outfit. I could never remember the name of the game, but I love the playstyle of it. They also released Company of Heroes on PC the same year, which is another well-received real-time strategy game. In 2009, they released Dawn of War 2, and in 2011, Space Marine was released on PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. By 2012, though, THQ had declared bankruptcy, selling off all of its IPs and companies.
Declare bankruptcy!
But Relic had a bit more life, being sold to Sega in 2013. Since then, they released the Company of Heroes 2 and 3, Dawn of War 3, and Age of Empires 4, arguably one of the best Age of Empires games. By May 2024, Relic had split from Sega, allowing them to operate independently. Now, I think I can be forgiven for overlooking Space Marine in 2011. It came out the same year as some fucking bangers. Some things like Batman Arkham City, Skyrim, Gears of War 3, The Witcher 2, Dragon Age 2, Dead Space 2, MW3, Dark Souls, Knights of the Old Republic Online, Lego Clone Wars, and everybody's favorite, Duke Nukem Forever. God, I hate that game. 2011 was an absolutely loaded year for gamers everywhere. Here we are at the title screen, watching a big man in a big blue armor knocking the shit out of some orcs. That's with a K. We will look at the multiplayer later. Let's just jump right into the campaign. Immediately we are met with some kind of satellite intelligence screen searching space, finding an invasion fleet of orcs heading to a planet known as a Forge World. This planet is manufacturing something called a world-class Titan. The person inputting the data asks if they should perform an exterminatus. Pretty much all exterminatus is exactly what it sounds like. You wipe out an entire planetary biosphere and all life on the world. But this Titan appears to be too important. When all other options are out of reach, they decide to deploy the Space Marines. This game is 13 years old? Fuck, it still looks amazing. Here we are introduced to our three main characters. Captain Dimitri and Titus, voiced by Mark Strong. You probably know him from that one scene that made every grown man cry.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road.
Yeah, that song just has never been the same since. Sergeant Sidonis, an old grizzled veteran of many campaigns, and Leandros, the by-the-book kind of teacher's pet. The ship we are riding is damaged, and we have to get to the surface to take out the gun shooting down our ships. So Titus has the team use jump packs to jump out of the ship, right into the shit. With nothing but a pistol and a combat knife, Space Marine spends no time getting you into its combat, sending a few waves of orcs at you, having instructions pop up in this fast-paced tutorial. The button layout took a little bit of getting used to. Left stick is move, press in left stick or L3 is sprint, right stick moves camera, X to melee. This is a DMC type of combat where the different number of times you press it or hold it, different combos will come out of it. Y to stun opponents with a shoulder check. These stuns can change depending on the weapon you are holding or how far into a melee combo you are, or if you're sprinting. X then Y will do a kick. Some weapons will do a ground slam, things like that. B will allow you to execute stunned opponents to gain health. You'll know an orc is ready to be crushed when a little red circle pops above his head. This is also the only way to regain health other than waiting outside of combat. B is also interact. A is to do a combat roll, L trigger to zoom in with a gun, R trigger to shoot, LB grenades, RB reload, D-pad to switch weapons. Health bar is at the top of the screen with an overshield and ammo is the bottom right corner. No minimap. You don't really need one. The game is an on-rails shooter, and it's hard to get lost. And even if you do, they'll have a giant green fist show up, leading you to your next objective. So far, this game just looks and feels a lot like Gears of War, but with no cover hopping. Big bulky character, lots of blood and chaos, D-pad for weapons. You can just see a lot of Gears of War in this so far. Also, the healing with executions is very remnant of God of War. And honestly though, I love it. At the end of the tutorial, we meet the Orc War Boss. So we now know how to play the game, who the good guys are, and who we need to kill. This is all within the first 10 minutes of the game. Not only the game is fast paced, but the setup for the story is also. Titus rides the orc ship he disabled to the ground, crashing it and emerging from the rubble. Space Marine is broken down into 5 parts. Part 1 and 2 have 4 chapters, part 3 through 5 have 3 chapters. Chapter 18 is just a prologue. As I'm mowing through orcs, let's talk about Space Marines. After all, how do you get a man to fit in giant blue armor? The process of becoming Space Marine is long and painful. Space Marines are usually recruited between the age of 10 and 16. They are often chosen from worlds with harsh conditions, tribal populations, or hive worlds. Recruits are often selected for their aggression, violence, and killing instincts. Candidates undergo intense physical and psychological screening. Gene seed organs are implanted into the candidates' bodies. These organs include a secondary heart, an iron heart, a Bachelor's gland, progenoid glands, and a Susan membrane. I butchered all of that, and I know it. I'm not a doctor. Candidates undergo chemical and hypnotic training, an grueling training process to hone their combat skills. If they survive, candidates join the ranks as a full Space Marine. The gene seed organs severely alter the candidates as organisms, transferring them into a superhuman soldier. Gene seed cannot be mass produced, and any implant has a potential to fail and kill the initiate. These changes come in 19 phases, which can take up to 10 years to complete. Titus collects his team and finds out that the human forces on the planet are still fighting the orcs. Slightly impressed, he sets out to find the leader of these survivors. This is Mira, the glue holding the last of the human forces together. She points us in the direction of the gun. After leaving the room, we find a large golden drop pod. This has a purity seal. These are upgrades. The seals are shown on Titus' armor as we collect them. This first one is Fury Mode. Hit L3 and R3 to go into Fury Mode. All melee attacks do more damage, and you regain health during the duration. The meter fills as you damage enemies. Orcs in the 40K universe are odd. They just don't look like they belong. And they are interesting creatures. They are a biologically engineered species, created more than 60 million years ago for a great war. I don't know, they are just silly and stupid race, but undeniably brutal. Fighting through some trenches, we found a mounted gun, which I can tear off its stand and walk around, causing even more mayhem. This is much like Halo 3, which did this 4 years before, but I'm not mad at it, because it's just fun as hell. I continue to slaughter the orc hordes, and I find a sniper in a blue drop pod. So there are 4 weapon slots, 1 for pistol, 1 for bolt rifles, 2 for heavy guns, which, along with upgraded versions of the first 2, drop in these blue pods. They have snipers, grenade launchers, double barrel machine guns, laser guns, pretty much everything a growing boy needs to murder orc hordes. There are also 4 types of melee weapons: knives, chainsaw swords, axes, and hammers. Each one of these has their own benefits and combat style. I mostly use the axe or the hammer in the later levels. Both of them have a big area effect for stunning, but the hammer doesn't allow you to use any of your heavy weapons while you're holding it, which can make certain areas a little bit more difficult, but fuck, that hammer's fun. Along our way to the gun battery, we get another jump pack. Although this one we actually get to use. Hold A to use the jump pack. The longer you hold it, the higher you go. Use the golden target on the ground to aim a spot for landing. While in flight, press X to smash into the golden target and deal massive damage and stun enemies in the area. The jump pack is probably one of my favorite parts of this game, and it's just because it is so damn fun. I feel like I've already used that word a lot. fun. Remember back when game devs, made games to have fun, not as microtransactions or cash cows? This is really why I enjoy doing these retrospectives, because I want to play games that are fun. The jump pack sections are always short-lived though. Take me right back to boots on the ground.
That rock delivered the orcs right into the gun fortress.
Yeah, I'm gonna have those popping up for words that I didn't know and had to look up, so I figured I'd share that information with you too. While fighting in the bottom levels of the gun, Titus and crew find some explosives, and a plan forms to blow up the whole place. We can take the charges, plant them on one of the rounds the gun has been firing. Sounds sketchy, but also sounds like it'll get the job done. We place the explosives, then play a God of War pushing minigame. Titus does not want to risk the charges not going off in the right place, so we follow them up another level, where the orcs have indeed taken our trapped shell out of the assembly line. This time we have to defend Leandros while he pushes it back into place. And I die for the first time. Nothing too bad about death. I mean, you just go back to your last auto-saved checkpoint. Also, by this time we've been introduced to a few different members of the orcs horde. I know they all have names, like the little one is a squig, I think. I'm pretty sure. Most of them are referred to something than boys with a Z. But so far we have boys that shoot, boys that stab, boys that blow up, and boys that blew me up. There's also these little goblin fucks, which I just call them health piñatas. Some of the bigger orcs are able to grab me and toss me on the ground. Fun to watch, but can be super annoying. These same orcs can try to counter your execution, causing a Gears 3 blade duel, where you smash B. But it never happens when it's the other way around. They just pick me up, literally my 1-ton ass, and toss me. After securing the payload, the gun battery explodes, allowing the troops on the ground to get the reinforcements they need. Now that that is done, Titus needs to secure the Titan that his team was originally requested for in the opening screen. After watching back the recording, I love the way that each level section is laid out. This one in particular, I like that I can toss the grenade over this chasm and hit the fleeing orcs. These levels also feel like they're modules from the tabletop game, which I'm sure players who play the game would appreciate way more than me. I ride this tram to the Titan and have a boss fight with an orc ship. Space Marine does have boss fights, and I'm not a fan of any of them. Most of them are just bullet sponges that I have to hide behind cover and regain since I don't have anyone to execute to get health back from. Just makes the action come to a screeching halt. And there is no cover system, so most of the time I'm still getting hit because my shoulder's peeking out from around a box. Overall, I suppose that this is supposed to raise the challenge, but it's just not fun, and more annoying than challenging. In Space Marine fashion, the ship crashes into the tram, causing it to crash into the next station, where we find a servitor skull.
What is that servo skull doing?
Trying to deliver a message. Must be damaged. The seal of the Inquisition. Interesting.
What is the Inquisition doing here?
We're about to find out.
This is Inquisitor Drogan. I need urgent assistance at Manufacturer Majakis. They're after the experimental device. The device is safe for the time being. I've drawn them off, but now I'm trapped. If I die, you must keep the device out of enemy hands, or he'll be unstoppable. I needed more time. I was nearly ready.
An experimental weapon.
We need to find the Inquisitor before the orcs do. Keep moving.
So there's another super weapon other than the Titan on this planet. And of course, we need to retrieve that as well, and find the Inquisitor. The orcs are using a crane to move a big gun to blow up a gate, and so we kill the crane operator and drop the gun on the orcs. I appreciate that in most elevators, they have some sort of conversation going on to expand the story in one way or another.
He's in the Manufactorum.
Yes, Lord Drogon. We have not seen him for several days. Has the Liberation Fleet arrived, my lord?
The fleet is still en route, Corporal. The Ultramarines are here as a vanguard, to cripple the enemy and secure the most valuable assets.
I see.
Filling that downtime with something that keeps me engaged is always nice. Throughout the levels, you'll find these servitor skulls. These are Space Marines audio logs. You can hold B and they will play in the background while you open up orcs with your chainsword, or they are stored in the pause menu where you can stop and listen to them anytime. These follow other people's on the planet stories, some of them workers on the planet, others soldiers, some lab techs, but the most important ones are Drogons. Running through this factory has an AI lady over the intercom the entire time. It really helps to build the idea that the Empire doesn't give a flying fuck about any of these people. They're just cogs in a machine.
Titan
Be
Invictus.
not concerned with events beyond these walls. Work, focus, meet your quota, increase productivity.
Titus eventually finds Drogon. Drogon explains that the weapon isn't just a weapon, it's also a power source and has enough power to rip this planet in half. He joins our merry little band and leads us to it. The orcs are using tubes to get into the deeper sections of the factory. The orc will hold open the door for the rest. You can shoot this orc and the door closes. I like this a lot. I'm in about 2 hours, and there are a few things that are starting to bother me. The orc voice lines are just repeated over and over. Shoot me again! You can't, you're dead.
Shoot me again!
That and the music. More if there just isn't enough of it. Unlike games like Metal Gear Rising and Doom 2016 that are high octane games and the music is just epic, Space Marines falls flat on its face. Maybe if they had something that was a cross between metal and like churchy, kind of like a Halo theme, I feel like that would have been really good. Drogon takes Titus to the energy source for us to repair. When Titus tries to grab it, he's attacked by the war boss, causing Titus to grab the spark in desperation, exploding the entire area. Somehow, Titus survives. Fighting through the sewers, Titus relinks with his men. Now to rendezvous with Drogon. The next area looks like a military barracks and it's covered in blood and body parts, along with quite a few audio logs, giving some great environmental storytelling points. Upon finding Drogon, he is surprised that Titus is still alive, revealing that the power source uses warp energy, and no one should have survived that much exposure to it unshielded power. The plot thickens.
Let's take him to the Valkyries. I will draw the orcs off and meet you there.
Give the power source to the sergeant then, Captain.
No, Drogon. The orc chieftain wanted the power source. When his orcs see I possess it, not you, they will follow me.
Titus volunteers to lead the orcs away, so that they can get the Inquisitor away since he's already been injured. I get my first jump pack hammer section, and I'm back to having fun. Something that I began to notice is that the levels got harder, is that while performing an execution, other enemies can still hit you. Meaning that they need to be planned out a little bit better, or you could just die while performing one. Titus fights his way to a Valkyrie, leading to a mounted gunning section, and I normally hate these, but this one was short, and you got to see some new orcs with rockets strapped to them, so it was okay. Once again, Titus finds himself falling from the sky, jumping from the transport ship before it crashes, and calls for a new pickup, having to fight off waves until they arrive. I like this simply because it felt like, hey, do you hate the mounted ship part of other video games? Well, what if we just crash that, and then let you get back to crushing orc skulls? Would you like that?
I've got a black...
So, the new plan is to get Drogon to the Spire, where he can use his weapon to eliminate all the orcs at once. Because it can do that. There are one spot here in his lab with turrets, and he's like, oh, I'll go turn them off. and then I fight my way to the switch, and then he's like, okay, all the ones behind us are now off, but I make no promises about the one ahead of us. Like, what the fuck, dude? I already destroyed all the ones behind me. I need the ones in front of me off. Titus and crew get the power source to the cradle of the spire. Drogon sounds a little too much like a mad scientist right here.
Very good, Captain. Your time carrying my power source is finally at an end.
The array is out of alignment, and we go to hit it with a hammer. The weapon fires, causing a rip into the warp.
Look at the spire.
This big demon marine looking guy uses his hand tubes to slow us down. And we find out that Drogon was actually dead the whole time. That had been resurrected and used as a puppet by this man, Lord Nemeroth. We get a cool little Gaiju fight here with the war boss and Nemeroth until both of them fall. This game went from smash, kill, get weapons, leave to a real story in one cutscene. To this point, I really hadn't been paying half attention.
Well, well, well. I leave for a day, and the Catholics are crusading, while the Nazis are invading.
Fighting our way back to the tower has us fighting demons and orcs, who are also fighting each other. So, new plan. Use the Titan to destroy the spire, close the warp gate. Throughout the game to this point, we have been collecting the seals as our upgrades to our armor. Now we get this iron halo. I just like these a lot because each one shows up on the armor as a cosmetic, as well as the halo, which is just a fun bit. Leandros becomes more and more upset about opening up the Chaos Gate. At one point, he actually just stops the whole party and accuses Titus of being corrupted by the warp. We split up from the team and go flip a switch, and while out, we run into the war boss Grimskull. He actually has some mechanics. He has a flashbang, he has a charge attack, a ground slam, and will call other orcs to help him. After dealing some damage, he will run into a wall, making it fall, allowing orcs to come in. After some more damage, he will climb up on this ledge and fire a grenade launcher.
I ain't finished with you yet, Space Marine!
But I am finished with you, Orc.
After killing Grimskull, Titus relinks with the squad to jump on another tram to get to the Titan. On the other side, we get a message saying that the Orc force is falling apart after killing the war boss. I like this. From here on out, we won't be seeing any more orcs, and they are replaced with Chaos Marines and demons. Pretty much all of the heretics are a big jump in difference. Chaos Marines are just like us, walking tanks, bigger guns, and grenades. They also have a higher chance of countering your executions. Elevators are sucking more, and there's a lot of them in this section, a lot of up and down. And there's not a lot of dialogue, and just no fucking music. Just the AI lady bitching about no one working.
Hard work occupies the body and distracts the mind. It is a noble and worthy thing.
Titus gets to Liberty Prime and jumps on board, and I have to fight this floating gun. And I die, because I have a hammer, which means I can only use a pistol or the bolt rifle, and there's no cover, and this thing is just fucking shredding me. There is an ammo spot right before this, but there's nothing to swap out my melee weapon. This is a 0 out of 10 fight. The Titan blows the hell out of the spire and closes the warp gate. Leandros wants to give the device to the Inquisition, but Titus has other plans. At this point, I'm liking the sergeant mostly just because he's a good old soldier, and I'm getting more and more annoyed by Leandros for always quoting the Codex and not thinking for himself. I feel like this fits well, since Titus and Sidonus are actually old friends, and I am naturally just felt more attached to him for some reason. Titus sends his trusted friend off with the device to hitch a ride and secure it in a weapons vault, while Leandros and I clean out more Chaos forces. Well, fuck. So glad I just confessed how much I liked him. Nimrod takes the device and has taken to calling Titus brother, believing he too will fall to chaos in time. We cut through some more fucking heretics for our brother Synodus. Then Titus comes up with probably the shittiest plan ever.
Plans to use the power source to trigger his transformation into a demon prince.
Abomination.
How can we stand against such a creature?
I will kill Nemeroth when he's most vulnerable. During the transformation.
Let me get this straight. You know he's probably going to sacrifice the entire planet to become sort of demon god chosen thing, and you think that the most vulnerable time is while he's transforming? This dude is already a tank, and you want to do it alone? You know what? Fuck it. Rip and tear for the Emperor, for Synodus. And we haven't had many cutscenes like this, or like a lot of character developments until the second half of the game at all. But fuck, is he cool. As we begin to hunt down Nemeroth, a fleet has come into range to help liberate the planet. This is where we get to meet other space marines like the Blood Ravens and another squad of Black Templars. It's cool just to see all of this kind of coming together and fighting next to them. The pilot from the beginning of the game has survived. Getting into the Thunderhawk has them dropping us off in the destroyed spire with a hammer and a jump pack. This section once again was a lot of fucking fun. Boosting into the air and slamming demons and heretics alike is a lot. It's pure bliss. You also need to use the pack to kind of platform your way in this half-destroyed tower. I hate platforming because I suck at it. But you give me a hammer and a jump pack, and fuck it, this was fun. When I finally reached the top of the tower, hell yes, here comes Nimrod. I'm gonna shove this axe up your... Okay. Oh wait, I guess mods, you know, you got followers, they gotta die too. I guess that's more important than you at the moment. Alright. Okay, monologuing. Yeah, you're evil. You're evil, I get it. Okay. I had an axe a second ago, not a chain sword. What the fuck is this? No way are they gonna God of War the final boss. Maybe we hit the ground and that's like the fight keeps going. Nope. No, we're gonna fucking God of War the final boss. God damn it. What? Well, at least it was a heroic sacrifice from Titus.
Country road.
No fucking way he lived. Fucking rat. Fuck the Inquisition. So, once again, Titus is more than willing to sacrifice himself to save those around him. And with that, we have the credits. So, Ultra Space Marine Demetrian Titus is taken by Inquisitor Thrax to find out why he has a resistance to the warp. But for how long? Did he die there? What did they do to him while he was held by Thrax? Titus was held by Thrax for over 100 years before Thrax was possessed by a demon and in turn put down. A Space Marine chapter was dispatched to secure his holdings, where they found 20 Space Marines that he had captured for interrogation. Held in stasis cells, Titus was found clear of all chaos and entered the service of the Death Watch. During his time serving in the Death Watch, the Fourth Trianic War began. which is where his story will continue in Space Marine 2. This game was a lot of fun. I even spent some time in the multiplayer, which I surprisingly was able to find a game in the PvP and the PvE. PvP is pretty clunky and slow-paced in my opinion, but it was fun nonetheless. I can see a lot of it in the new Space Marines 2, and the PvE is a wave-based with a party of 3, and it just kind of drags on. It's 5 waves you do in one area, and then you move to a next one for a total of 20 waves, and they progressively get harder. I think I got to level 5 in the PvP. Nothing too amazing, but, you know, it is a fun, older multiplayer nonetheless, with quite a bit of customization. This game, I feel like I said it a lot, is fun. The story isn't super deep, and it isn't until the second half where we get some big reveals that I really took an interest in it. I was ready for just a run and gun hack and slash with no story, so I was pleasantly surprised that this one had an actually decent one. The end boss was absolute bullshit though. Pretty much all the bosses were though, and I was hoping for a bit more of an epic fight, but I got a quick time event. The music was lackluster, and at some point I was getting a headache just listening to my boots clunk on the metal while I was sprinting from one place to another. Doing research for this game was hard not to tumble down the rabbit hole of lore, which is why I opted to put the blips on screen. If you guys like those, let me know, and I may do more of that so I don't trail off on rants. I guess let's get to the main 3 questions I like to ask at the end of these videos. Is the game as good as I remember? Is it worth playing today? And is it worth the 2024 price tag? Well, we're gonna ignore the first one. But yes, I think this game is worth playing today. It's still a decent 8-hour game. It's nothing amazing, but I enjoyed it, and it was a fun game. Is it worth the price tag? If Steam goes back to the $60 tag on it, no, it's not. But 15, yeah, I think it was worth 15 bucks. So, you know, Relic, Sega, how about you drop that price? Or you can go use my link to buy a GTA code for a discounted price, which, you know, also helps the channel. If you made it this far, thank you. I make this content for you. Subscribe to stay up on future projects. I did just finish playing Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 on the hardest difficulty with Drizzt, so that video will be coming out, I don't want to say soon, but sometimes. And remember, my angels, stretch those wings.
For the Emperor!